Well, hello, goody people. Today I come to you with a review of Nanatsu no Taizai, chapter 105, right? Yeah, chapter 105. This was a good chapter. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. We start off with, Bon and everything, after the shocking reveal of the last chapter of him apparently being the new Fairy King. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, that is an amazing thing, like plot twist just happened. I'm like, I'm really sorry that I couldn't review last chapter. It was stuff, whatever. But yeah, we just keep walking through the forest. Everyone is praising Bond, just saying welcome back and everything, and everyone is just shocked to see King, and just calling Harlequin, which was his original name back then, uh, just insulting him, saying it. He's what a traitor doing here? How dare he come back? And it's so sad seeing that King holds a great deal of just regret and just sorrow inside him because he knows he committed a grave sin those past 700 years back. And he's so sorry for committing them. And he paid, in a sense, he paid for them by, he was in prison for roughly about 700 years or so. I don't exactly recall how long, but he was in prison for quite a while until he was recruited by Meliodas to become part of the Seven Deadly Sins, just like Bond. So yeah, that and he knows he still feels the pain and just weight on his shoulders of that horrible thing that happened so many years ago. But yeah, we have that. We constantly we progress to where somewhere deep in the forest where Bond goes with everyone else, and then we see the deceased corpse of Elaine there lying on a flower field, looking beautiful as ever, and King can't stand the sight of watching her because he feels unworthy of being able to see her after what he did all those years back. He just cannot stand. He cannot stand there and see his sister straight in the face, even if it's her dead body. He just can't. It honestly feels way too painful for him. It's too much to bear for him. So he runs off somewhere. So because he can't face her. Uh, we see Bond just grasping, holding on to her, and saying, "One day I'll revive you for sure, Elaine." Showing the amount of love that he cares so much and so deeply for her. And we have a little bit of jealousy spewing in the back there with Jericho because Jericho has been a bit of fancy towards Bond lately. So that was nice. Uh, then we move to where King was at. When where King was at, he was getting attacked by other fairies because they were throwing rocks and stuff at him, saying a bunch of awful and horrible things to him because he abandoned them and just, in a sense, betrayed them. In their eyes, leaving the forest to get burned and having Elaine die. He feels sorry for that shit, and they're just making it worse on him. He knows and he feels like he deserves the punishment that he's receiving right now because it's a given that he committed a terrible sin. He realizes it, but in a sense, from what we've seen, he's made up for it. But he doesn't done anything for the. Oh, he has, but they don't know. He hasn't done anything for the fairies themselves, and they still hold a grudge towards him because of what he did. Leaving them and all that. But in turn, he did save them in a sense because he saved them for the revival of the Demon Clan, which would have ended up being extremely bad, and they would have fucked the forest up again once more. So he did save them again, along with the Holy Knights of the Kingdom and all the rest of the sins and everything. But they don't know that, and I guess he's not gonna share that. I'm just saying, because even if he says so, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna care much. He's still a traitor in their eyes, so they're just gonna keep treating him as one. But luckily, we have the best pet in the world, also just coming in and protecting King and just barking, just turning into just humongous dog and just scaring the shit out of the fairies to leave King alone. And like that goes to show he's puppy of the year. Also, is puppy of the year. I want him, honestly. I would so want a dog that can just be my best friend and then make portals and I can just go through places. That'd be the best shit ever. Not to mention he can go super big and just huge. God, Aso would be puppy of the year. I want an Aso plushie eventually because Oslo is going to be shown. I think no, I'm not certain. I think Oslo is going to be shown in the anime. I'm not certain, but if he is, I'm pretty sure they're going to make plushies out of him. And if they do, I'm getting one. That's amazing. Just telling you, it's good. But yeah, then we have King just crying there, moping, feeling sorry for himself because they're in a sense true, right, or whatever the fairies telling all of that shit, and he puts on the Helbram's mask, sorry, helmet, and keeps crying, and then all out of nowhere he says, "Just who am I?" And then out of nowhere, the Helbram's ghost comes in and says, "You're you. You've always been that same old little crybaby." And it's like it's whoa, Helbram's back, and well, he's not back. He's back as a ghost, and he's on back on the side of good. So that's where things change, but still, it's a little bit odd. But I think Helbram coming back as a ghost could be useful because they could use him as like a little for reconnaissance and stuff like that, and also in fights that can help King out gravely because Helbram as a ghost can spot things that he would normally would. It's like having two people fight a battle together as one. I really want to see them do that. It'd be cool, honestly. I think they will eventually, because they're not gonna just use Helbram as I'm here and that's it. They're always gonna use him in some cool way that will be interesting for us to see. But yeah, he comes back and says that I came all the way here to have your back and everything and watch over you a little bit more because Elaine told me to do so. And he says, yeah, because he needs to. And he also comes in to do a little bit of a warning of some kind about Hendrickson. And the king gets all scared and everything and says, "Oh, he's still alive! No way, that can't be." And then Helbram just like shoots him down and says, "Like, no, it's not that. He's pretty much dead, I'm sure. But it's just something that he was plotting, at the time." And he goes like, maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't think you should worry about it. It's no big deal." And obviously, that's got to come into play eventually. It's better yet for Helbram just to say it right now and then because it's gonna fuck them up later. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, whatever. Then we have Bond just coming in, just like, is he losing his mind? Because King's looks like he's talking to himself, but nobody else knows that King's the only one capable of seeing Helbram while he's wearing that little helmet on because his soul is bounded to the helmet, which is cool. Like I said, yeah. Then we move on to Meliodas and the rest of the things and the kingdom and the holy knights and everything, and they're just bestowing upon something upon the sins after their courageous attempt to protect the kingdom, even after they were over they were thought of as traitors because they overthrew the kingdom. They were framed for possibly thinking of overthrowing the kingdom and everything. And it was all a lie, whatever, because it was all Hendrickson's doing. Yeah, he's gonna abolish all the wrongdoings that they were framed of the king and everything, and then out of nowhere, Meliodas comes in and says objection, and says hold up on those abolishments of everything. I wonder what he's gonna talk about in the next chapter, what we're gonna learn, or why is it that he's not accepting their abolishment of their sins? I mean, the ones they were framed from doing, not the ones that they actually committed and they know they did. So yeah. Well, yeah, that was a good chapter. It wasn't anything amazing, but it was a fun chapter. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, and I think I talked about pretty much everything that occurred, and it was a good chapter. I've been running this for 9 minutes already, so I think with that said, I'll see you soon.